Welcome to Puck Radio. Bienvenue sur la Puck Radio. My name is Louis-Simon Lapointe. I'm working alongside Rob Snook and Rick Middleton. We're live from the press box at the UBC Thunderbird Arena for the Vancouver 2010 Paralympic Winter Games. We're getting ready for game number 20, the last one, the gold medal game of the Sledge Hockey Paralympic Tournament. In a few moments, Team USA will face Team Japan. À nouveau, bienvenue sur les ondes de Puck Radio. Mon nom est Louis-Simon Lapointe, en compagnie de Rob Snook ainsi que de Rick Middleton. Nous vous parlons en direct de la passerelle de la presse au UBC Thunderbird Arena. Nous sommes à quelques instants de ce match numéro 20, le dernier, ce rendez-vous pour la médaille d'or dans ce tournoi à 8 équipes de hockey sur luge. Dans un moment, la rondelle tombera pour cet affrontement entre les équipes des États-Unis et l'équipe du Japon. And now to my colleagues, Rob Snook and Rick Middleton.
Thanks, Louis. This really has been one of the most fun weeks of my broadcasting career, working here on Puck Radio along two very talented broadcasters, along with our researcher, Jeff Tsui, here as part of the Puck Radio crew, and we're getting set for the gold medal game. This is the final game of the sledge hockey tournament at the UBC Thunderbird Arena. As Louis said, my name is Rob Snook, former Paralympic athlete. These are the 8th games that I've had the privilege of either competing in or being part of, and it is always a thrill. This is right up among the top. And the man sitting beside me is a former National Hockey League player with the Boston Bruins and the New York Rangers, who has also a pretty rich history in sledge hockey. Rick Middleton.
Thanks, Rob. Well, you know, last time I was involved in a gold medal game, I was coaching the USA team against Norway in Salt Lake City in '02. We were fortunate enough to win that in a shootout. I'll tell you, it's probably the most nervous I've ever been in hockey in my long career, and it was also the most exciting moment of my long career, my new career in sledge hockey. But I'm so thrilled to be here today. I've got butterflies in my stomach. There's nothing like a gold medal hockey game, and these fans are really into it. Look at all the Japanese flags.
And of course, myself, Louis-Simon Lapointe. I'm from Quebec City. I'm hosting there some radio shows and TV shows all about sport, and it's a great honor also to be working with you for the whole week, but especially also for this big gold medal game. Team USA, Team Japan, enjoy this great game.
And we are underway. Nahiko Ishida, number 23 for Japan, gets it ahead. Ito chases after it. Back to get it in his own end is Jimmy Connolly. Flips it off the boards for Andy Yohe. The U.S. team's strength is its balance. They have 3 lines that can all play at an international sledge hockey level. And here they come out to center. A race ahead, Adam Page, but he'll be beaten to the puck by Iiji Nisawa. It's in behind the Japanese net, and Ito will work it free. Here comes the captain. 2 goals in the semi-final game against Canada. He is knocked off his blades by Tim Jones, and the puck slides in on the Japan net, where it is covered up by Mitsura Nagasse, whose hockey background started in Canada, where he attended Algonquin College in Ottawa.
A very good start to this game. Japan, from the drop of the puck, has shown that they're going to be aggressive. They got the puck into the USA end. They worked it around. Their speed is good today. They're all pumped up, and who wouldn't be? Their first time in a Paralympic final or for a medal of any kind.
Team Japan has already guaranteed itself of a silver medal, first ever Paralympic medal for this country. And so, Rick, do they have much pressure on them right now?
I don't think they have any pressure on them. They just have a lot of adrenaline in them.
Taylor lips it, leaves the puck for Taylor Chase. He flips it on net. Nagasse makes the save. It looked a little awkward. And Team Japan controlling. Daisuke Uehara, long pass to center. It was picked off and stolen by Taylor Chase.
He's the guy that's got to be the difference. Nagasse was in the Canada game. He's got to do it again today.
Uehara, number 32 for Japan, scored the game-winning goal against Canada with just over a minute remaining in the 3rd period in a monumental upset. Nico Landeros is run into by Daisuke Uehara, and Japan sends the puck down the ice.
Uehara may be the fastest skater on the Japanese team.
Again, if you have questions about sledge hockey, You can text them. Louis is at the controls and he is waiting. And Louis, what's the number again?
604-404-PUCK. Encore une fois, nous vous invitons à nous texter via messagerie texte vos questions à propos du hockey sur luge, so you can ask absolutely anything to our panel about this beautiful sport of sledge hockey. 604-404-PUCK. It's 604-404-7825.
I'm glad you gave the number, the 7825 part. I always make a mistake. We've got a penalty, our first penalty. It'll be an interference call against Japan, and so the U.S. power play is going to work, ranked number 1 in the tournament at 36% efficiency.
Well, normally you can throw all the stats out in a game. It's a one-game final. Anybody has a shot to win. We've seen that happen, but these guys are pretty potent. I don't think Japan would not serve them well to get too many penalties today, especially with Taylor Chase back there and the cannon he has.
Japan's penalty killing is there are no slouches in that department. 87.5% efficient killing penalties. But now the U.S. gains control. Joe Howard, the 43-year-old veteran. Salamone comes up with it in the corner. 2 Japanese players guarding him, including Satoru Sudo, and now sent down the ice by Noritaka Ito, the 26-year-old who plays for the Hokkaido Bears.
You can see that Japan's going to be very aggressive, even on the penalty kill. They're attacking the puck carrier, forcing the U.S., not giving them time and space.
Here comes Salamone across the Canadian line, chases after it in the corner. Team USA on the power play for the next minute and 15 seconds. No score, early stages of the gold medal game. Howard to the blue line for Andy Yohe. Gets around to one man and another, but it is upended. The puck ends up in the corner. Japan off the boards, blocked by Chase. He is run into by Ito, and a good play to send it down the ice by Kazuhiro Takahashi.
Japan's strategy has been working. They've had a hard time, the U.S., setting up and trying to get that puck back to Chase for the big shot.
Japan has 1 shorthanded goal in this tournament. They are very fast, and so they're dangerous. Here's a chance, though, for the U.S. Salamone for Howard. Try to make a pass back for Yohe. The puck loose at the side of the net. Lipset gets a stick on it. It's still loose. They jam away at it, and the referee is right there. The puck is loose. Flip that, and by Shaw, it is covered by Nagache. We still don't have a whistle. Salamone shoots and scores, finally. Oh my, that took a long time. Alexei Salamone gives the U.S. a 1-0 lead.
It looked like they had 9 players plus a goalie in the goal crease. That was amazing. The referee did a great job of making sure that puck was not frozen. He would have blown the whistle, but he kept sight of it the whole time. That puck is being moved around. He's right there. You can see him. And Salamone pulls it out, takes his time on the backhand, and lifts it over a prone Nagache for the first goal.
And 4th goal of the tournament for Alexei Salamone. And we've talked about his story earlier in the tournament, but it's worth repeating. The 22-year-old out of Grand Island, New York, who was actually born in the Ukraine. And his home now is in the United States of America, and he's just given his nation a 1-0 lead in the gold medal game.
Plays for the Buffalo Sabres, his club team. Great program in Buffalo.
Buffalo Sabres, one of several National Hockey League teams that have sledge hockey programs named after the big club. And the U.S. will get the puck to center ice. Emerson to the Japan line, and right back is Sudo. Across the line, flip pass across, penalty coming here. It will be against USA, and it will be an elbowing penalty, and so Japan's power play will go to work.
Well, Yohe, I thought, played that very well. He was poaching. He was hanging back, waiting for the Japanese player to come over with the puck, and then just went at him. Well, it looked at the shoulder to me, but maybe from the referee's vantage point, it looked like he threw the elbow. Anyways, it's a 2-minute penalty.
The USA has not allowed a power play goal against yet in the tournament, 100%. Japan, not the best power play, at 7th best. But again, as you say, Rick, none of that matters if they
No.
can score one here.
If you look at Norway's stats, you wouldn't have given them a chance against Canada yesterday. But of course, everybody knows what happened there.
In fact, the U.S., of course, has not allowed a goal against at all in this tournament. It's 1-0 U.S. now. It's the lead they were looking for. Louis is not here at this moment. We'll get to him in just a moment.
He's been here for a week, and he's not here right now.
Yeah. His fans are calling, I think. Louis Simon Lapointe, talented broadcaster from Quebec City, working with us all week long. And he's been busy answering his fan mail. And I'm sure that's the case right now, Rick.
Yeah, probably. You know, U.S. has Bubba Torres out there, the very fast Bubba Torres. We've seen him kill a lot of penalties over the last week. He's very good at it, and he's also an offensive threat.
Taylor Chase was able to make a nice play to spin around and get the puck down the ice to help the U.S. relieve the pressure. And now Uehara. Daisuke Uehara up ahead. The pass was too far for Takahashi. They battle for it in the U.S. end. Chase is after it, another member of that Buffalo Sabres sledge program that is so strong in upstate New York. Americans flip it down the ice. It'll roll towards the net, but it'll be an ice. No, sorry, it won't be because there's a penalty, of course, so the U.S. can ice the puck for the next 50 seconds plus.
Very aggressive forechecking.
Endo goes back in his own corner. He'll try to fish the puck out. He does. Have a couple of sleds, and out it comes to center, and Takahashi controls. Try to make a pass cross ice, didn't work. And now Uehara will get it across the line. It was just barely onside. Yoshikawa chases after it in behind the net. Landeros was there. Japan centering pass. Ishida will try to keep it in, but he can't. And that means everyone from Japan has to come out of the zone while the U.S. starts a line change. Ishida. Ishikawa just onside. And now it doesn't. It comes back outside the blue line, and the U.S. has killed off the penalty as Andy Yohe, the captain of USA, steps out, and the long shot goes over the glass. And that'll bring a face-off way back in the Japan end.
Well, that was a great penalty kill by the USA. Shaw and Torres getting in very aggressive on the forecheck, not allowing Japan to set anything up coming out of their zone. Once they got into the USA zone, the defense handled them well, not giving them a shot on net on that power play. It looks very good for the USA right now.
This is the kind of start that Canada needed in either a game against Japan or against Norway, and didn't get it. The U.S. very impressive team. And Rick, when we were asked before the game who's impressive on the U.S. team, it's really hard to say because they all are. There's no weakness, really. That's their strength.
That's the strength. It's the depth. As you can see in a lot of these teams, how many minutes.
Here's a chance for the U.S. And again, it was stopped by Nagache as Josh Paul's got himself in alone.
How many minutes the players play on some of the other teams, the Italian team, the Czech Republic team, you know, they don't have the depth. They've got, even Norway plays their top players in important games almost the whole game. The USA doesn't have to do that. So over the week, fatigue is not a factor with them. And not only that, they have a high level of ability too. So combine that with great goaltending, pretty tough team to play against.
Scramble for the puck on the face-off in the Japan zone. Salamone, the goal scorer in the game, comes up with it. And he'll just flip it to an open wing. Joe Howard will hustle after it. And a good collision. Howard and Ishawa sent around the boards, kept in. No, it's not going to be anymore. The Japan team gets it out to center, but could not make anything happen offensively.
I like that play by Torres right there. He got over the red line. He had nowhere to go. The defender was on him, and he just shot it in. We don't see that enough from many teams.
And now Torres throwing his weight around with a good body check along the sideboards. Again, if you're new to sledge hockey, full body contact is allowed as long as the player has the puck and you can hit him. Is providing you're not hitting him from behind or you're hitting sled on sled. That's a penalty called teeing. And here's a chance for Howard, but it slips past his stick. And Ito tried to get a stick on a pass. That came from Mikao Anaka, but it was just a little too far.
Joe's primarily right-handed. He was trying to take the pass and get the shot off all in one motion, and the puck just slipped under his stick.
Daisuke Uehara slides the puck towards the U.S. net, where Steve Cash just makes sure he'll freeze it with 6:14 remaining in the first period. 1-0 USA leads Japan.
I want to say hi to a couple of guys, Chris Manns, Jack Sanders, and Pat Sapp from the 2002 USA gold medal team that I coached. From a couple of their former teammates that are here at the UBC Thunderbird Arena today, Kip St. Germain, Lonnie Hanna, Manny Guerra, Dave Conklin, Vic Calise, and Sylvester Fliss, all here cheering their former teammate Joe Howard on with the USA team.
It's been a homecoming for Rick Middleton's gold medal winning team from 8 years ago. And here comes Taylor Chase racing to center. Chase throws it towards the Japan net, bounces off the side. Chase stays with it. Still has it. And instead of making a dangerous pass out front, he wasn't sure he could get it to. He just makes sure and sends it into the corner. Now Adam Page keeps it alive and in the Japan zone. Japanese team now Yoshikawa with a chance to try to clear it. It comes to the line and then slips past the stick of Page. Uehara in a race for it, and Chase does just a great job. He has that deceptive speed, Rick, where maybe he doesn't look as fast as Uehara, but they both seem to get there at the same time.
Well, he's a little bigger. He's a big guy and a very strong guy, but the fact is he makes up for his size with his strength, his upper body strength. He can get going in like 2 strides, full speed, with his arms, where you see some of the other guys his size take 3, 4, 5 strides to get full speed. He can do it in 2.
And our researcher Jeff Swee is on the other end of the headset right now. Jeff, have you got a question for us?
Yeah, there's a question. What is the all-time record between the U.S. and Japan?
All right, we do have those stats, and we will bring that up for you now. The all-time record at the Paralympics, USA 3 wins and 1 loss. At the World Championships, the same story. USA 3 wins and 1 loss. And so overall, it's 6-2 for the U.S., but that 2 number is still there.
Right.
And that means it's happened before, and it certainly could happen again. Greg Shaw, the face-off man for the USA. Another mad scramble for the puck. Ito with a shot that went wide of the net. Endo now coming in from the blue line, snaps one, that goes into the corner. Misawa couldn't get a stick on it. The U.S. will get it to the blue line, but not out. Misawa, and it's blocked by Yoi. U.S. has a chance to clear it. Shaw will steer it to center. Boy, this Japanese team, Rick, their confidence level just seems to have climbed through the tournament.
We've seen that happen with a lot of teams in this tournament, just over 1 week. As teams, they become a better team, but as individuals, their confidence has grown.
Don't forget, the last time these two teams met, it was a 6-0 USA win, a game that Japan just seemed to have no answer. And now the U.S. with another chance out to center, but Lipset has lost his propulsion stick, which also doubles as his stick to shoot with, which makes it almost impossible to make a play. And Louis has joined us after his...
of course, an interview, actually.
Yes.
There's so much interest on Puck Radio here at UBC Thunderbird Arena. For the people here in UBC, in the place, they can see us, I would say, nearly every game before the game on the big screen. And there was those people from the channel, actually the accessibility channel, who came to see us. They wanted to have an interview for me to talk about the Puck Radio. So I went to meet there. It was really interesting.
Don't they know how valuable you are to our broadcast? We can't do without you, Louis.
I'm pretty sure Jeff did pretty well also.
Jeff did actually
Jeff
well.
was there. You know, he's always there when we need something.
Here's Salamone with a shot and the save made by Nagase. And Japan able to send the puck down the ice. Another good scoring chance for the U.S. Nico Lenderos from Colorado. But the puck ends up on the stick of the Japanese player. The shot went wide of the net. Lenderos will try again. He'll bank it off the glass to the blue line, kept in by Endo. Takayuka Endo, the soon-to-be 32-year-old, lofts one towards the net. And we've decided we like that loft shot. Now Daisuke Uhara with a centering pass. A penalty coming here. It'll be against Team USA. It's a roughing penalty with 3:13 to go in the first period and a 1-0 USA lead.
So once again in this first period and today for this big gold medal game, 6:04, 4:04 puck for everyone who's listening to us here at the UBC Thunderbird Arena and also those who are watching us on ParalympicSport.tv. So welcome, we're always happy to have you around. If you have any questions, you want to learn more about sledge hockey, maybe those players, those teams, rules, 6:04, 4:04 PUCK. You text your questions and we will answer them.
Face-off is in the U.S. zone. The officials did not like the way they dropped the puck, and so they'll do it again. And by the way, the officials in this game tonight, Peter Vogenhagel from Norway is the referee, Stephen Richardson from Norway is one of the linesmen, and Maxim Chud from Estonia, the other linesman.
You were surprised they started a Norway referee?
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know if they'd have a European or maybe it does make sense, Rick, that you have one from even a different continent, so you have no even thought that there'd be any leaning towards one style of play towards another. So second thought, I think it's not a bad idea. And you know what? The officials get critiqued through the tournament, and the ones who do a good job usually get rewarded. And here's a chance for Bubba Torres. Racing back was Endo, or Ito rather, who did a great job. Boy, he has got blazing speed because Torres is fast, and Ito just raced back to catch him.
That's what I was talking about with Torres out there killing penalties. He's an offensive threat.
Takahashi, nice play to get the puck to Endo. He has it slip away, and he manages to get it to Ito. Twisting and turning, tried to get it back to Endo. It didn't work, and it comes all the way out to center ice.
The United States with his second penalty in a row. They really haven't been able to get a flow going with these penalties so close together. It really disrupts any offensive flow you have.
U.S. penalty killers do get the puck to center. Adam Page. Good play by Sudo to defend. And now Uhara across the line. He's got Misawa with him, gets a shot from a tough angle, and it was wide of the net. That's one thing the U.S. has done throughout the tournament. It's just simply made it hard for teams to shoot on them. If you don't have a good scoring chance, it's pretty hard to score on Steve Cash because he is arguably the best sledge hockey goalie in the world.
They'll give you the outside shot. You can't stop every shot, but you got to be pretty close to Steve Cash to beat him or get a fluke deflection.
The USA penalty to Joe Howard is ending. Right now it's over, and Japan failing to score on its second power play. Uhara swings it across, too far for Misawa, and Andy Yohe, who leads the U.S. in time played in the tournament, is able to send it down the ice. 24 and a half minutes roughly for Andy Yohe in each of the 4 games leading up to this. An icing call here against the U.S. And that sounds like a lot, Rick, but compared to some of the other teams, nothing. We saw Italy, we saw Norway, we saw Sweden essentially play a lot of their players the whole game.
Yeah, it's been the European style, really, because of their lack of young players coming up. You see this year, really, for the first time, some good young players being groomed by these teams, but they really weren't ready to compete at a top level yet.
By the way, in our first intermission, we will have an interview with Greg Lagasse, who's the chair of the International Sledge Committee. And so that'll be interesting to hear where the sport is and where it's heading in the next few years. Less than half a minute to go. First period, 1-0 USA leading on a goal by Alexei Salamone. Japan looking for the equalizer. Endo with a shot from the point. Lots of traffic in front, and they couldn't get it through. And now Yoey will just make sure it gets to center. He knows how much time is left. It's 10 seconds. Here's one last chance for Emerson over top of the net. Rebound, Page, and it's stopped by Lagasse. And there goes the horn as Japan dodges a bullet at the buzzer. And it is still just 1-0 USA.
Well, I thought it was a great period of sledge hockey. I think both teams have to be happy with it. Japan doesn't look out of place at all. The USA wasn't able to take that period over. I think mainly because of a couple of penalties that they had to kill off, disrupted any flow that we've seen the USA get into in past games. But they didn't have a ton of shots on net either. They outshot Japan 5-1, but it's not like they had 10, 12 shots. Japan is really still in this game and playing well. Anything could happen in the second.
The only goal of this game scored on a ferocious goal mouth scramble. Alexei Salamone, his fourth of the tournament. 1-0 U.S. leads after one period here in the gold medal game. Louis Simon Lapointe.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Rick. Rob, don't stay too far. We're going to have a special guest in a few moments. Alors revenons quelques instants sur ce match de hockey sur luge, le match de la médaille d'or présenté aujourd'hui au UBC Thunderbird Arena, alors que les équipes des États-Unis et les équipes du Japon s'affrontaient pour ce grand match. Je vous rappelle qu'hier, le match de la médaille de bronze a été présenté hier soir ici à 19h et l'équipe de la Norvège a enlevé les honneurs de la médaille de bronze contre l'équipe du Canada. But first of all, Team USA scored first today. 1-0 USA as Alexei Salamone scores his fourth goal of the tournament. The goal was scored at 4 minutes 10 seconds. Number 23 Joe Howard and number 7 Taylor Lipset also got the assist on the goal. So the shots after the first 15 minutes, USA 5, Team Japan 1. Alors je vous rappelle que le premier but du match a été marqué par le numéro 23, Alexei Salamone, son quatrième du présent tournoi. Le but a été inscrit à 4 minutes 10 secondes et les passes ont été aux fiches du numéro 23, Joe Howard, ainsi que du numéro 7, Taylor Lipset. 5-1, les tirs au but après cette première période à l'avantage de l'équipe des États-Unis. Let me remind you once again that yesterday we had a chance to broadcast 3 games here at the UBC Thunderbird Arena. Let's start from the first game, which was played yesterday at 12. Game number 17 of the tournament, as Team Italy was facing Team Sweden for the 7 and 8 spot. Team Sweden lost 4-0 over Team Italy, so it means that Team Sweden will conclude the Vancouver 2010 Paralympic Games in the 8th position. Number 7 rank will be Team Italy. The second game of the day yesterday was between Team Czech Republic and Team Korea. And Czech Republic won 2-1 over Team Korea. So it means that Team Korea will conclude this tournament in the 6th rank. Team Czech Republic will finish number 5. And of course, yesterday night also we had this bronze medal game. Team Canada, which was playing against Team Norway, and Team Norway won with a winning goal only 3.6 seconds before the end of the game. 2-1 final score. So Team Norway will get the bronze medal. Team Canada will conclude this Vancouver Paralympic Winter Tournament here in the 4th rank. So now we have this gold medal game. Let me remind you the score after the first 15 minutes. USA 1, Team Japan 0. And now we have a special guest. Let's meet once again Rob Snook. How's everything, Rob?
Am I the special guest? I feel very special. Thanks, Louis.
No, unfortunately, you're not this time. Maybe next time. Maybe the second intermission. We'll try to keep a few moments for you. But of course, we are gonna have a few minutes and chat with Mr. Greg Lagasse, which is a chairperson, ICP Sledge Hockey Sport Technical Committee. How are you, Mr. Lagasse?
Very good. Thank you, Louis.
Thanks for coming with us here today.
Well, thank you for inviting me. It's a great day for hockey.
How's everything been so far here in this Paralympic tournament?
I know nothing could be better. I mean, from the organizing committee to the great volunteers to the amazing competition we've seen on the ice. I mean, you look at teams like Italy, who started a program 5.5 years ago, and you look at the goal differential. For me, it's what really sticks out. In Torino, they were a -25 in goal differential. 4 years later, they come here and they're a -1. They were 7 minutes away from beating Norway in the preliminary round robin. Lost 4-0 to Canada, and it just shows the growth and development of our sport and the parity. A couple other firsts. This will be the first time Japan wins a medal at a Paralympic Winter Games and/or World Championship.
Yep.
They've always, unfortunately, been the bridesmaid, never the bride, but this time they're going to walk home or go home with a medal. They're very good for the program. And it's the first time that Norway will not be in the gold medal game in a Paralympic Games or World Championships. And I think that's what's great about our sport. It really shows that it's very competitive from the number 1 seed right down to the number 8.
That's exactly the point that we've been making on our broadcasts, Greg. And it's been so much fun to watch teams like Italy. And I like the way they're playing as well. And I'll always remember the goal that was scored just to the right of our broadcast location here. And Chiarotti was the one who finished it off. And it was just a tic-tac-toe and then another pass to finish it all off. And it was sort of the symbol that the Italian program has arrived. They can do it.
Absolutely. And I remember in Torino and talking to the guys and watching them. I mean, they were watching every single USA, Canada, Norway game. Just they're like sponges, absorbing, watching how they cycle the puck, watching how they play systems. And there's no doubt over the past 4 years they've been working hard on that. And we've seen those incremental improvements at our World Championships. They finished in 6th place. It just goes to show you that with the right support, with the right development, our sport's heading in the right direction. And we're going to be working with some other hockey countries like Russia. Obviously, they're hosting the next Paralympic Winter Games.
Where are they at now?
Right now, they're in development. Last I heard is they've got about 4 teams in Russia. They're carrying about 20 for their national team. We expect them to be at the B-Pool World Championship in 2012. They certainly could be a host, and it's Russia. I mean, it's a hockey-mad country. They certainly have the population to draw from, and we suspect that they will be a very competitive team quick, much like what we see with Italy.
I absolutely need to talk to you about the event here in Vancouver, the crowds. We've seen so many people here at UBC Thunderbird Arena. The media is also were really involved also, not only here at the sledge hockey, but also in all the Paralympic Games. Could you ask for better support here from Vancouver?
No, absolutely not. It certainly exceeded our expectations. When you're talking 8:30 games at night and you still got almost max capacity crowds, unbelievable. And what's great is it doesn't matter who's on the ice. They're cheering, they're loud. I mean, you can see this crowd. You got a bunch of Canadians with Japanese flags and U.S. flags, and what's great about it is they're cheering for the athletes on the ice. And you know, it doesn't matter what country they come from. From broadcasting, I mean, this is unprecedented, and it certainly has raised the bar in terms of recognition and awareness, which is very important for Paralympic sport, never mind just sledge hockey. It goes to show, and it's something that, you know, Rob, you know, as a former athlete and someone who's been heavily involved in this movement, is trying to convince people that these are athletes. They happen to play a sport called sledge hockey, but bottom line is it's a sport. And it's really nice to see people come out here and really demonstrate that support for these incredible athletes.
Greg, I think that these games could have a very interesting effect here in the host nation. One, that the host country didn't do what they were hoping to do, but this might have spawned a generation of kids who have now, they see this sport, they see how exciting it is, they see, you know, Dave Randorf from TSN on national television in Canada. Maybe the international viewers don't know that name, but a well-known name in Canada. And so as the sport goes around the world, it may have a huge effect. And on one hand, the Canadian team, a disappointing 4th place finish, but on the other hand, maybe it's what the sport needed.
You're right, Rob. It's truly unfortunate for the Canadians in their backyard. It's certainly not what they were expecting, but you're right. The silver lining through all this, again, I go back. It's the parity in our sport. You just can't walk in here thinking you're gonna be in the gold medal game. That's why we always say in hockey, there's a reason why we drop the puck, and it's because you got to play 45 minutes of hockey. And you're absolutely right. I mean, just looking at the kids in the crowd, and whether that's Paralympic sport, Olympic sport, local competition, you know, it's really about, I think, you know, telling people to go out there, set your goals, and strive for them.
Now, I have a question for you about the calendar, because we know 4 years from now the Paralympic Winter Games will be in Sochi, Russia. Where are the next few major events between now and then?
Yeah, we're currently in the bidding process for the A and the B Pool World Championships in 2012. There also will be a European Championship. Right now they're in the final stages of the bid process for that. Likelihood is it'll probably be in Sweden during the Sollefteå Games or the IPC Winter World Cup. And in between then, there's going to be obviously some friendlies between countries. We often see Tri-Nations Cups, USA, Canada, Japan. Germany will probably have a competition. Just because of our competition schedule right now, we're still in the infancy stages of development. I mean, you look at our sport, we're not even 20 years old, and we're still in that process where we've got to be careful. We can't have too many competitions because it becomes saturated. So what we do in our competition calendar is there's nothing in the year after the Paralympic Games. Then we start right back into our World Championships for consecutive years leading up to the Paralympic Games, which will be held in Sochi in 2014.
I bumped into a young man here in the building before the game wearing a USA jersey and had a chat with him, and he's part of the junior program, and he said they played the Canadian juniors. So where are the junior programs from different countries at? Where are they at?
Yeah, and kudos to Keith Blaze he was the former head coach of the U.S. He started up when he became the head coach. He started up the U20 U.S. program, and a lot of the guys that you see on the ice tonight during the gold medal game are products of that. And there's no doubt some of the other countries like Canada have started to follow suit with that, because you've got to start young with these players. 10, 15 years ago, you probably could go hand-pick guys and you're the national team, but you've seen it. You've seen the competition and a level. You've got to start developing these players at a young age in order to get to this level. And I think there's just another telltale sign of where this sport is going, and how this is truly high-performance sport.
Greg, how do you see the future of the sport? What will be the next steps for sledge hockey?
Yeah, we'd love to see 8 teams in the B pool, 8 teams in the A pool, very competitive. And we also are going to start looking at women's sledge hockey as well.
Yep.
As you very well know, this is a mixed event. It's not a men's. We did that purposefully because we want to make sure that the opportunity exists for women to compete. If a national team has a female that's capable to qualify for their national team, why would we hold them back? In our regulations, it states that it's a mixed sport. So if there is friendlies between national countries, females can compete. And in the meantime, we're going to start looking at ways to actually have women's only sledge hockey. We're probably years away from that, but you got to start somewhere.
That's the most common question we've had this week on the text. Almost every game, how come there isn't, or where is there women's sledge hockey?
Yeah, and we're obviously taking some lessons learned from women's Olympic hockey or women's hockey, and we want to make sure that if we're developing women's sledge hockey, we're developing it so that all countries are going to be developing at the same time. And so that much like you see here, there's going to be parity in the world. And that's going to take time, unfortunately. It's we can't do this overnight. But we're very proud to say it's something we've acknowledged. It's in our strategic plan, and we're now going to start working with the countries to make sure that that opportunity exists.
Louis?
One last question about maybe, we're talking of course about the future. We want those players to be known. Actually, do you know someone actually in Canada who doesn't know about sledge hockey at the moment? It's been so popular those last few days, huh?
Well, unfortunately, much like you guys, I've been sheltered in this rink for the last 7 days. But just through the press, you guys here at Puck Radio certainly host broadcasters, not just here in Canada, TSN, CTV. We've got Sweden, Norway. My understanding is there's a Japanese broadcaster.
Great.
So this message is getting out there. Besides IPC, Paralympic Sport TV, the message is getting out there. I would hope to say that very few Canadians don't know about it.
One last question. I would love to see, and I don't know what the process would be, but to walk into the concession stand and to buy a Billy Bridges or a Brad Bowden or a Taylor Chase, or have the opportunity to buy one of those jerseys. How far away are we from that, you think?
Simple answer. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And I think we're there. I've called this games, I think it's the tipping point for our sport. I really do, and I think from now on we're really going to benefit from a lot of the awareness. I'm talking to people in the crowd, talking to friends and family, and I made this comment earlier. People are now seeing this as sport, and they're out there and they're cheering for those athletes on the ice, and I think you will start to see household names like Chase and Bowden and Endo, Vapenka from Czech Republic, and the list just goes on and on.
Great, thanks. Greg Lagasse, thank you, chairperson of the IPC Sledge Hockey Sport Technical Committee. Enjoy those last few moments here in this tournament, and hopefully we'll wish you all the best for the future of sledge hockey.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Greg.
you. Thank you very much. Alors voilà, c'était cette entrevue réalisée en compagnie de M. Greg Lagasse, qui est une des personnes responsables pour le comité international paralympique pour tout ce qui est hockey luge, notamment bien impliqué sur le comité technique. Here at UBC Thunderbird Arena, after the first 15 minutes, USA 1, Team Japan 0. Both teams are back on the ice, and let's give the microphone to Rick and Rob.
Well, maybe we should just pass the microphone to Rick because we stole his microphone for the entire first intermission. Rick, what were your thoughts of that first period?
I think it's got to make both teams happy. Obviously, the USA is happy because they're up by a goal, and Japan's happy because they kind of weathered the storm in the first period. They had 2 power plays. They had opportunities to score and even this game up. If there's anything that doesn't make them happy is the fact that they're still down by a goal.
And Japan wins the face-off to begin the second period. Shooting the puck to the USA line. Misawa, and now grabbed by Ito. He wants to take it off to the side. Slides it into the corner as he gets ridden into the boards by Yowie. And now Connolly makes a body check for the U.S. as his team will calmly get it to the line, but it is not out. Ishida is being guarded closely by Adam Page. The puck squirts free and controlled by Connolly. Trying to get it out, can't do it. He'll get another chance. Sprawls pushes it ahead, kept alive by Japan as they search for the equalizer. We're early in the second period.
Well, they know how important this next goal is because you go down 2-0 to the USA team, it's a huge mountain to come back.
And the puck is knocked out to center where the Japan captain, Takayuka Endo, will shoot it in. And again, the U.S. controlling. Connolly, his pass doesn't get through to Jones. But the U.S. again has a chance to organize.
Japan doing an excellent job of crowding up the neutral zone, stopping the USA from getting any speed. That's one of their pluses. They get that speed through the neutral zone, they can kill you.
Endo races after the puck. He might get to it. Here comes Takayuka Endo. He's got a chance. He couldn't get a shot away, and a penalty coming here. And a penalty shot coming here for Japan. Endo interfered with on a breakaway, and so he'll have a penalty shot.
Well, he had great speed there. Even the fast Andy Yowie couldn't catch him. Yowie took the inside track, tried to get body position on him, just missed him because Endo kept skating. Instead of slowing down to take the shot, Endo kept going.
If you're new to hockey, if you're interfered with while you're alone on the goaltender on a breakaway, no one between you and the goaltender, and you're interfered with in any way, then that is a penalty shot, and that's what we just saw. And so Takayuka Endo, who has been huge for his country so far in this tournament, including 2 goals, accredited with 2 goals in the the semifinal game. One of them actually was shot in by one of the Canadians, but he was the last to touch it. He's got 4 goals in the tournament so far. He'll try to get the U.S. score the first goal on the U.S.
A great present for his 32nd birthday yesterday.
Here comes Endo against Cash. Endo shoots. Cash the save. And he is still perfect in the tournament.
He's such a cool customer, Cash. You know, the secret to goaltending, especially in a shootout or a penalty shot, is try to make the shooter make the first move. Endo wanted Cash to make the first move. He was looking for a hole, and he couldn't find one.
Wow, I'm just so impressed with Steve Cash, Rick. The thing that maybe makes it so impressive is that he faces so few shots. And then when he does, every time he's pretty much perfect.
Seems to be in the right position.
Not that he needed to control the rebound on that penalty shot, but he did there as well. It's second nature.
Instinct.
Yep. And so it is still a 1-0 lead for the U.S. How big of a moment was that? Saved by Cash.
Well, if the U.S. is able to get another one, they'll be thinking about that lost opportunity.
Here comes Taylor chasing. What a collision, Endo and Chase. And Endo did an Endo on that play as he was really upended. But he is right back and in seemingly perfect form. Plays deep in the Japan zone. Daisuke Yuhara looks up ice, waiting. He hasn't passed it yet, and he gives it away, but Takahashi comes back and gets it to the line, not out. Endo might get a chance. He can't clear it. U.S. just keeping the pressure on. Now Uehara will bang it to the line. Kept in by Chase. Goes right stick to left and then just slides it in behind the net. Greg Shaw goes to get it. And a scramble along the boards. Taylor Lipset is there. He has 6 points for the U.S. in the tournament. Where's number 7?
He was hot earlier in the week, and we really haven't seen that much from him the last couple of games.
He did manage to assist on that first goal, the scramble by the U.S. in front.
I think it hit everybody.
Yeah. I think it hit you, Rick, on the way in somehow. Here's a chance for the U.S. Shaw, and he had the goalie beaten, but he couldn't pull the trigger, and now Lipset's shot went right through the crease. Somehow it stayed out.
Those are the plays you think about later where you just couldn't put it into the empty net.
But Japan can't clear it, and now it will just slide outside the blue line. Lagasse leaves it there, and we have got a whistle, I think a delayed offside against the U.S.
Well, some great action. USA really down the Japan's end, coming very close to making it 2-0. A couple different shots,
wow.
And for some reason that puck never went in the net.
Louis?
Yeah, once again on a 6:04-4:04 puck. More questions here, and there's someone who would like to know if there's a minimum size for those sledge.
80 centimeters. So that's 8/10 of a meter, and which is, a little bit less than a yard as well. That's the shortest that they can be. I don't think there's a maximum length to the best of my understanding. I guess we should have asked that question to Greg Lagasse when he was here. Chair of the committee for sledge hockey internationally. And just a touch of interference by the U.S. player. Not enough to get a penalty, but that threw Ito off stride. And now he does have the puck. Ito slides it across the U.S. blue line and just knocked away by Connolly. He kind of whiffed on the first chance, but then recovered.
Japan doing a great job disrupting the passing lanes of the U.S.
Misawa after it, manages to get it to the U.S. line, followed up by Sudo, who's given a bit of a ride by Salamone. They both go down. The puck is in the Japan corner. Alexei Salamone among 3 Japanese players, but Sudo comes up with it, sends it back to the blue line. I think it'll get out. It does. And Ishida has to go to center. He defends himself on the hit from Torres with a bit of a forearm shiver.
We saw that easily up here. Could have been called elbowing, but it wasn't.
Daisuke Uehara, who goes by the name Daisuke on the back of his jersey, is a lot of fun. He reminds me of Brad Bowden on the Canadian side. He's just always moving. Now Howard slides it ahead, but it's taken away, and it's Uehara.
They quoted some Japanese players or coaches that said that was the biggest goal in their team's history by Daisuke against Canada.
Came with 1:13 to go in the third period of the semi-final game. And the Canadians were never quite the same after. They played a decent game yesterday against Norway, but not enough to win and wound up losing, and they'll finish 4th. Norway gets the bronze, winning a medal at every games that they have taken part in since '94, and that's when the sport was introduced. Play is deep in the Japan zone. Takahashi, among a couple of U.S. players, manages to work the puck free. It'll come out to the blue line and to center ice.
Brad Emerson, a great player on the U.S. team. He's been quiet in this tournament so far. We might expect to see him do something in this game. He's a big game player.
Emerson wears number 5 for the U.S. He's a forward out of the Buffalo Sabres sled program, so New York State native. Ishida back in his own end for the U.S. Not many scoring chances the last few minutes here. The teams are playing it pretty tight, and now there might be one. Uehara, but he will just get beaten to the puck by Taylor Chase. Uehara couldn't find it originally. Back to center ice, and the U.S. will be called here on an icing call. Louis?
Yes, of course, once again, 6:04, a 4:04 puck. A little question here for Coach Middleton. Are there any of your former players coaching? There's a question here.
I know Sylvester Fliss is taking over the Polish sledge hockey team, or at least helping them become a better team and get to the international level. They're knocking on the door. He told me the other night they just lost to Estonia, so I would expect to see the Polish national sledge hockey team in some international competitions very soon.
That's Justin here, who's also saying that Dan Henderson, you know that?
Dan Henderson, I believe, is out in Colorado.
Yeah, and he just started coaching with the Little Avs there.
Oh, great. They have a great program in Colorado. We've heard from a couple of the guys, Corey Fairbanks texted in.
Great.
They have a super program, and it's nice to see Dan involved in it again. I believe he just moved out there, so it's nice to see he's involved in the sledge hockey in a new state. You know, it's a band of brothers, really.
Another scrambled face-off in the U.S. zone. Misawa has it underneath his sled. Two American players trying to dig it free. It comes free. And Ishida, Endo, but they couldn't get a stick on it. And Naka was also in that contest. Endo back to get it, has it slide off his stick. Ito will help him out. And Japan will bang it off the boards to center ice. Anaka drops it back. Misawa, shot blocked. Chase trying to clear it. He'll get it off the boards. Ishida.
Japan starting to play that fast break offense. As soon as their defense get the puck, one or two forwards start taking off for the long bank pass.
Misawa in behind the net, trying to clear it for the Japanese side. Again, these two teams met once earlier in the tournament. It was a 6-0 game. It was a very different looking Japanese team in that game. Here's a chance. Connolly's shot deflected, and that went wide. Ishida taken away by Greg Shaw. He is being pushed and held up against the boards. 4 players in the battle for it. It's worked free by Lipset. Still has it. Makes a pass out for Pauls, taken away, and maybe a chance now. And Ito races back. Races after it. Connolly gets back. I don't think Ito realized it, Rick. I think he thought that was going to go for icing.
I think so too, but it went up on edge, slowed it right up.
If he didn't hesitate, I think he would have had a breakaway. Taylor Chase has always been able to meet the challenge of the speed of almost anyone else. U.S. making a line change now. And they'll send them in from both sides and out from both sides. Now Uehara brings it in for Japan. He's down on the right wing. Uehara still has it. In behind the net, Yoi trying to take it away. Uehara does a nice job to protect the puck. It's still loose in behind the U.S. net. Boy, what a battle. Yoshikawa is back there as well. And Yoi gets it free, the 32-year-old American captain, to the line, but the Japanese captain Endo is able to stop it. Uehara now, and great play by Yoi to protect it, and he bangs it out to center. And here's Joe Howard with 2 men with him on this break. Howard holds, waits, makes the pass to Yoi, and he'll chase it in behind the net. Now Endo rubs him out along the boards. And it is Salamone who works it free.
Ishida got back there very fast to cut off the lane, or Howard had that pass in front of the net for a great scoring opportunity.
Uehara manages to get it down the ice. I think this will, and it does, go for icing call. Louis?
Yes, of course, we're having some updates from of what's happening at the moment because we're following also live this at the Vancouver Paralympic Center. This game, this wheelchair curling game at the moment. So in a few, so we're gonna have the gold medal game between Canada and Team Korea later today, actually at 3:30. And for the bronze medal game, Team Sweden will face a Team USA. So Team Canada won earlier today against Team Sweden 10-5. Maybe another gold medal for Team Canada in those Paralympic Games. We will have the answer later this afternoon.
And Rick, when we talked to Greg Lagasse in the intermission, talked about the parity in the sport. And just so you get a sense, 4 years ago in Torino, Japan finished 5th. The U.S. finished in the bronze medal position. And so you've got a real flip-flop of the top-ranked teams in the sport.
Well, no team has won the Paralympics 2 Paralympics in a row.
That says a lot, doesn't it?
It really does.
Started off with Sweden winning gold, and then it was Norway, and then it was your U.S. team in 2002.
Right.
And then it was Canada 4 years ago, and now it will be either the U.S. or Japan. And so it'll be the first repeat champion, too. Not necessarily back-to-back, but, of course, 2-time winner. And I think we have an offside call here against the Team Japan.
There's an interesting quote by the Japanese coach, Koji Nakakita. It says, "We only have one guy with any hockey experience. Half the guys were in orchestras, and then all of a sudden they were on the Japan national team. But after Torino, when we finished 5th, half the guys quit. They went away, and it took 2 years to get them back." Well, they've done a lot in those 2 years.
Well, and he's a guy with lots of hockey experience. In fact, he got it here in Canada. Koji Nakakito attended a hockey camp at the University of British Columbia and then went on to play at the very famous college in Saskatchewan, in Wilcox, Saskatchewan, called Notre Dame. It's a school where Russ Courtnall and Wendell Clark, the NHL players, played. I think he was actually teammates, or at least played at the same time in the program with them. So Koji Nakakito.
Gord Kluzak, too, possibly.
Yeah, it's a very famous school, and they have pumped out a lot of hockey players over the years. And so that's one Canadian connection in this game, even though the host nation isn't in the gold medal. Here's a chance now for Yoshikawa, and getting back so fast was Salamone, who is certainly earning some consideration as an all-star in this tournament.
I think he's had the best game so far for any U.S. player.
And he does have the only goal in the game, Alexei Salamone. You know who else has had a great game? He's got the puck right now, Taylor Chase from the U.S. And he just makes a nice push ahead for Howard, and he'll make sure and get it to center. Joe Howard, who wears number 23 for the U.S., is the only remaining player from the team that won gold with Rick Middleton back in 2002 in Salt Lake City. But Rick, they made a great choice keeping him because he makes such a positive influence on the ice, but he's got to have a huge influence in the bench and in the dressing room.
Well, they're so young. I mean, the team's average age is 23. And most of these guys know Joe over the years playing club hockey, playing in tournaments and such. So it's not like he's a father figure or anything, but he's the only one with a gold medal on that team.
Daisuke Uehara was hurt on that play. And he was actually flinching before he even hit the board, so there may be a long-standing injury. Louis?
Yes, of course, once again, 604-404 puck. If you have any questions about sledge hockey, you can take your cell phone and text your questions 604-404-7825. Encore une fois, on vous invite à nous faire parvenir vos questions via messagerie texte 604-404-7825 pour en apprendre plus sur le hockey sur luge.
Connolly for the U.S. He's down, but he manages to get the puck out. And Sudo will just slide it back across the USA line. Jimmy Connolly out to center ice. After it is Emerson, who throws a big hit. But the puck is again in between the blue lines and then sent into the Japan zone. Sudo back for it. He's given a bit of a jolt by Adam Page, who manages to come up with the puck. Slides off to the side of the net. Lagasse couldn't cover it, but he manages to keep it aside. Back to the blue line, Yoi taken away, and the Japanese team can't clear it. Here's Yoi, and in front of the net, Yoi again gets it back. Still after it, Yoi, flip shot, saved by Lagasse, and he's got it covered up.
He just could not get the handle on that puck. At least 2 or 3 times he went to shoot on the forehand, kept losing it, but stayed with it, got the puck over on his left hand, couldn't get that off, and then decided to take a backhand with his right hand.
Several chances for the U.S. Will they look back at that as an opportunity lost? Lagasse looked to be completely out of position. He stopped that one with his mask, his goaltender mask. 9-1 the shot so far in the game in favor of the U.S. 4-0 here in the period. Here's another shot, lips it, and the save made by Lagasse just barely. Now lips it to the blue line for Chase. Lips it again. Taken away now by Japan, and they'll get it out to center. Might go for an icing if it has enough power. No, Lenderos will get to it first.
What the U.S. is doing so well here.
Here's a race, lips it. He's gonna get to it, lips it, shoots it, and it was stopped by Ishida. Great burst of speed by the U.S. and lips it. He'll chase after it again.
I think Lagasse got a piece of that. I was going to say, what the U.S. is doing so well here is not getting frustrated, not opening up, not saying we got to get that next goal. And neither is Japan, by the way. They're pretty happy being within 1 goal of this U.S. team.
Ishida leaves the puck at his own blue line, got some help from one of his mates, and Japan gets it back into the USA zone. 45 seconds remaining in the second period. No goals in this period, only 1 in the game. The U.S. leads. Now Endo will go back in his own zone. This is not going to be an icing. He'll have to hustle as Greg Shaw is chasing him. Endo sends it around the boards. Stopped by Yoshikawa. Push ahead for Yohara. Intercepted by the U.S. and lips it. And now Chase is ridden up against the boards by Endo, and another hit by Endo. Those two have collided several times in this game. Chase stays with it, pass out front, lips it. He missed the net by about 12 centimeters.
Chase is so big and strong. Endo bounced off him twice there, and he just kept going like a train.
And the second period ends with a flurry. The U.S. outshoots Japan 6-0, and an unbelievable save on a penalty shot by Takayuka Endo, but this game remains scoreless by the Japanese side, and U.S. has just the 1 goal. It's 1-0 after 2 periods.
Well, I think no matter who wins this game, the storyline is going to be of missed chances. The loser of this game is going to say, we had this chance, we had that chance, either on the U.S. side to put the game away, or the Japanese side to tie it up with the penalty shot. So the one thing that Japan needs to do is get more shots on net if they expect to win this game. 1 shot is not going to do it.
And the 1 shot that has gone in has been scored by Alexei Salamone. It is 1-0 after 2 periods.
Well, thank you, Rob. Thank you, Rick. Rick, don't go too far. We're going to have a special guest also in the next few moments. We're going to have your former goaltender also who will be with us in a few minutes. So I think you'll come and you'll be with us, of course. You'll have a chat with us, huh?
Sure, absolutely.
Excellent. So get him and come back also with us here on our press box. Et voilà donc le match entre les États-Unis et l'équipe du Japon a pris son envol à midi aujourd'hui, heure de Vancouver. Jusqu'à maintenant dans ce match, c'est toujours les États-Unis en 1-0 qui prennent les devants contre l'équipe du Japon. L'unique but du match a été marqué en première période alors qu'Alexei Salamone porte la marque à 1-0 pour les Américains. Son 4e but du présent tournoi. But marqué à 4 minutes 10 secondes. Les aides vont aux fiches du numéro 23 Joe Howard et du numéro 7 Taylor Lipset. No goals in the second period, so the shots on goal after the first 30 minutes of play. Team USA 11, Team Japan 1. Let me quickly remind you that yesterday one more game was presented here at UBC Thunderbird Arena. In fact, 3 games were presented, but of course, we have to talk about Team Canada and Team Norway, which was a bronze medal game played in front of a little bit more than 5,500 people here at UBC. The first goal of the game was scored by Team Canada at the 32nd minute of the game, as Adam Dixon scored 1-0 Canada. Glenn Westlake also got an assist on this one. And a few minutes later, in the third period, Rolf Einar Pedersen tied the game, and 3.6 seconds before the end of the game, Eskil Hagen scores and finally gives the bronze medal to his team, Team Norway. Shoots on goal after those 45 minutes of play yesterday. Team Norway 12, Team Canada 18. And here we're ready with our special guest in the second intermission. Rick, introduce me, your friend, your guest, my new friend also.
Louis, this is Manny Guerra. Manny was the gold medal winning goalie on our O2 team in Salt Lake City, the U.S. national team.
Yes.
Manny was also the first team All-Star goalie, right, Manny?
Yep, that's correct. Thanks for having me, Louis.
And how many years have you been playing, well, let's say sledge hockey, but then at the Paralympic level?
Well, yeah, I started playing sledge hockey in 1990. I was a member of one of the first clubs in Minnesota where the sport was introduced, ironically, from our counterparts in Canada. At the Paralympic level, I've been involved in 3 Winter Games, Nagano being my first, and Torino being my last. I retired after 2006.
How do you feel? How do you feel today when you watch this game here? It's 1-0 USA. What comes into your mind at the moment?
You know, coming into the tournament, there was 2 things I was kind of stirring in my stomach a little bit, is what it would be like to actually watch the game behind the glass.
Yeah.
And so, you know, at first it was a little hard to do, to be honest. But what a great tournament! After a few games under my belt, I felt really, really excited for the boys. And so, right now I'm watching this game as a fan. I'm really happy. And I got to say, I'm completely surprised by the maturity of the young team, the U.S. team. So that was the second thing I was wondering, is how mature the team was going to respond. And I got to say, they withstood several storms during this tournament.
You played against this Japanese team for many years, and 5 of the players go all the way back to Nagano, including Nagasse. What is it about this Japanese team? When you're getting ready to play this team, what do you think of as a goalie?
Well, you know, to be honest, I really don't think much. You know, they always say goalies are kind of a weird bunch, and so you know,
I'll agree with that.
I just went through my pregame routine. The funny thing about Japan, though, is you know, I give them credit to being a very strong Canadian team, and the thing about Japan is you got to put them away. You can't let them hang around. And so right now, you know, I'm looking at the scoreboard. I know it's 1-0. I know we're up on shots 11-1. Like Rick, you mentioned earlier, they got to shoot the puck, obviously, to be more effective. But they're sneaky, you know, and if you let them hang around, they could come back and bite you.
You know, some of those players, of course, on the American team, what are they thinking at the moment? What's happening in the dressing room?
Well, I think before the game started, as I vividly remember Salt Lake 2002, I was scared, to be honest. You know, I felt like I was in a position I've never been in before. I felt excited, but at the same time, I was a little scared of the game. And I think Rick, what was unique about Rick's pre-game speech was he felt the same way, and he allowed us to work that out of our system before the game. So I think a lot of the guys before the game, they obviously had jitters, but I think they also questioned potentially their ability, their effectiveness. A lot of things go through your mind before a big game like this. Everything that you played before, leading up to the goal medium, you throw it out the window.
I don't think Ray Maluta, the coach of the USA team, would allow them to think that this was going to be an easy game. They're certainly not playing as if they're taking Japan lightly. There's too much at stake here, and even though they may not be happy with a 1-0 lead, they do have a 1-0 lead. And in between periods, I would build on that. You know, the positiveness is you guys are playing your game. You're not panicking out there. You only give them 1 shot. Okay, they got the penalty shot, but aside from that, their scoring chances have been cut down. Keep playing the same way. Unless some fluke happens that Japan gets a fluky goal, you know, like Norway did yesterday, then you're going to win this game. So you build on the positives.
Yeah. Manny, you know what's to be a Paralympics champion? You've got your medal. And by the way, where's the medal?
Everybody
You
asks me
usually
that.
wear that jewelry all the time. don't you?
Everybody says you got to have it on you somewhere. Well, you do wear it for a few days after the gold medal game. It was a long journey for a lot of my teammates and myself, 14-year journey. So it was a culmination, a long journey of people that had helped me, that elevated the game and took it to the next level. So to answer your question, Lee, my medal right now is actually in my sock drawer in a very nice protective case. And occasionally I take it out for some of the fans or family members or friends that come over to the house.
Or if you go to hospitals,
do talks, I go out and
motivationally
motivationally talk to different types of venues, and so I bring it out, I share it out. Ironically, I have a couple kids that are playing hockey right now, and last year they made it to the state tournament finals. I brought the medals out, I brought the gold and the bronze, and talked to them about what it took to get there. And they were an underachieving team as well, and made it to finals, so I was very proud of that.
That's exactly where I was going with my question. Now you have this medal. Did it change something in your life?
It really, you really don't think it's going to change your life much, but it does, because I think whether you like it or not, you kind of become an icon of the sport, and a lot of people look up to you. I know that when we got back home after Salt Lake, it influenced a lot of people. I didn't realize the magnitude of how big our win went out and reached out to kids in the United States. So when we got back, we did some touring, we did some clinics, we brought the medals with, and it stimulated a lot of growth.
I remember in an interview right before the gold medal, not after we won it, but before, Dan Henderson was being interviewed and said, "How does it feel to be in the gold medal game?" And Dan Henderson went, "Phew, man," he says, 12 years. And Dan was very
I do remember that.
He wore his heart on his sleeve, Dan. I loved him for that. He says 12 years. They've been banging on we've been there for 12 years. We've had good teams. We've had chances, but we've never been able to do it. Finally, we've been able to put it together, and it's just so much fun just to be here. And that was before we won it.
Rick, I'm going to ask you exactly the same question. What did this medal or this event, this experience change into your life?
Well, I loved it because I've really been out of the game since the gold medal. I've coached at the club level back in the New England area, but as far as the Paralympic level, for some reason they didn't want me to come back as head coach, and they went a different direction. And now USA Hockey, which I'm so happy that USA Hockey has finally stepped up and taken this over. And not all the way, I hear, though. They could even do more, which I'm hoping they will do. But I'm just glad. I got a call just kind of a month ago, even less, an email through Brad McCrimmon, a fellow that is actually in Vancouver with the Detroit Red Wings playing tonight against the Canucks. He's his coach. Had given one of the organizers my name, said, about my history in the game, and that I had done some TV and radio in Boston. Thought I'd be good for this job, and I in a minute I said, "Yeah, I was coming out anyways, but I'll come a week earlier. I'd be happy to be on." And I met Louis, and I knew Rob from before, and it's been a great 2 weeks here.
It's been a great moment here. Manny Guerra, thank you very much.
Thank you, Louis. Thank you
Enjoy
for
the
having
third
me.
period.
I will. I'm going to sneak back down to ice level, get down with the guys.
Yeah, it's nice at ice level.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Job.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. We'll be back to you also in a few moments for the third period. But first of all, let me just remind you that yesterday one more game was presented here at UBC Thunderbird Arena as Team Norway won the bronze medal over Team Canada. And the winning goal was scored by number 7, Eskil Hagen, only 3.6 seconds before the end of the game. Here's what Mr. Hagen had to say right after the game. Here's his little press conference there.
Yeah, I saw we had good pressure on the Canadians at the end there, and I saw they were going to be a bit stressed, and they dumped the puck out. And I knew I had to get over there, and the puck was on edge, rolling, and I just wanted to get it to the net. And it hit something on the way, I think, and went in a nice arch above the goalie. And yeah, 3 seconds. Oh, he did? Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I'll tell Billy later then. No. The high pucks are difficult to catch because you have the glaring light and you have the difficulty with his balance. But to get a shot away like that and that arch, no, it's nothing I planned, no.
What were you thinking as that puck crossed the line and went in?
I don't know. I thought, oh, crap, I'm going to be hit by my teammates. No, I just laughed, I think, and just fell down, and I had all my teammates on top of me, and yeah, what can you say and think?
How great is it to beat Canada for a medal in their country?
Oh, it's fairly good. I won't go bragging here now, but it's
Can you spell her name?
Eskil Hagen, number 7 from Team Norway. This is a very, very happy man who scored the winning goal yesterday against Team Canada. Here, in less than 30 seconds, the third period will start. Both teams are back on the ice. Team Japan, Team USA. And here, once again, maybe for the last period of this great Paralympic tournament, Rob Snook and Rick Middleton.
Thanks, Louis. I love how you said maybe for the final period, because if the game is tied, we will have an overtime period. If it's still tied, then there will be game-winning shots, known some parts of the world as a shootout. But right now it's a 1-0 lead for USA. Alexei Salamone has the goal, his 4th of the tournament from Joe Howard and Taylor Lipset. That was a power play goal way back in the first period. And we want to send a big shout out to those listening at Whistler Creekside and those watching on ParalympicSport.tv. It's just a thrill to have you along, and congratulations to all the athletes out there who have put on such a great show for the Paralympic sport fans out in Whistler. Just a great atmosphere out in Whistler. Had a chance to visit earlier this week and watch the medals presentation, and just so much fun up there. We're underway now in the third period. The U.S. has sent the puck down. That's an icing call, and so the face-off will be to the left of Steve Cash. Steve Cash's nickname is Money. They call him Money. And so far in this tournament, he has been just that for his team. He, in fact, stopped a penalty shot in that second period. Somehow didn't register as a shot on goal, but it was certainly won by Takayuka Endo, and he was stopped. Japan looking for the equalizer, as they have been since just past the 4-minute mark of the first period. Good hit thrown by Yoi in his own end. His team just trying to clear it now. Japan came back to tie the game against Canada. Went on to win the game against Canada. The U.S. has never been behind in the tournament. Play along the board, still in the U.S. zone. Welcome all of those listening, of course, here in the building on Puck Radio at the UBC Thunderbird Arena. U.S. just in some trouble here, trying to clear it out of their own zone. Ishida takes the pass, gets a shot. That was blocked by Emerson. And Emerson will try to clear it. He is rammed into by Noritaka Ito. Japan keeps on pressuring.
Best pressure Japan's had since the first period on the USA. USA overskating the puck, can't get it out of their zone.
Endo flips it towards the net, and Steve Cash very alertly realizes his team needs a face-off, and they'll get 5 fresh players on the ice.
So once again in this third period, maybe for the last one, 6:04, 4:04 puck. If you wanna learn something about sledge hockey or wondering about anything, so you can ask our panel your questions about sledge hockey. And here's one here for you: has Japan ever defeated USA in sledge hockey?
Well, we did mention the overall numbers earlier. So at Paralympic Games, the U.S. has beaten Japan 3 times. Japan has won once. And the same story in the World Championships, a 3-1 margin. So yes, Japan has beaten the U.S. And it's an overall record 6-2 in favor of the U.S. at Paralympics and World Championships.
I remember our first game in 2002 in Salt Lake City was against Japan, and they had a 0-0 going in the third period. Fortunately, we scored 3.
Here comes a chance for the U.S. Lipset. Josh Pauls following up on the play was Greg Shaw, and now Pauls from the corner will flip it back for Lipset. And it's still in the Japan zone. Lenderos with a shot, steered aside by Nagasse.
Taylor Chase all over the ice, down behind the net. He's allowed to roam anywhere he wants as long as they cover up for him.
Team USA head coach is Ray Maluta. There's another man with Canadian connections. He was born in Manitoba, in the host nation here of the games. Here's a chance for Japan, and Daisuke Uehara's shot was stopped by Chase.
Chase tried to get the shoulder into him, only got a piece of him.
Takahashi with a shot that went off the side of the net. More pressure by Japan. Takahashi couldn't get a stick on it. Uehara to the blue line for Endo. And it bounces off his stick, and this might be a chance for Josh Pauls. Sudo getting back and breaks up the play. Endo is kind of caught flat-footed way at the USA blue line, and now he's knocked out of his sled, and the whistle goes, and Takayuki Endo is calling for a penalty, but the referee, Petr Vojenhegel, was not going to go for that.
Luckily, they had their 2 best defensemen, Endo and Sudo, but here you see on the break, Cash again just saying very calmly, getting a glove on the puck, not overplaying it. And that's Taylor Chase coming in, really right along the boards. I don't, you could call that teeing, but he didn't go into him on purpose. He was coming along the boards and caught it, I think, just at the wrong angle, a side angle.
Endo has strapped himself back in, but he'll go to the bench and make whatever repairs need to be made and adjustments to the sled, but make no mistake, he'll be back on the ice. After 2 periods, Endo is leading Japan in ice time at almost 22 minutes of the 30 minutes played. Ishida will bang it off the boards. The puck will go to the line, but not out. Just pushed right back in by Andy Yohe. Sudo, who's had an excellent tournament for the U.S., or for the Japanese team rather, number 24 on Japan.
Sudo, a veteran on this Japanese team, 39 years old. It's quite an old team. Average age is 37. A lot of history, a lot of experience, and you can see it out there.
A lot of scrambling in the corner right now. 2 U.S. players, 2 Japanese players. Sudo will come in, grab the puck. He'll zing it around the boards, and it'll come out to center. Anaka, and he couldn't make the pass for Ito. Japan fans calling for a penalty, but there will be none called here. Ishida, and he loses it. Here's a chance. Salamone with Torres and Howard. Howard shoots it. Save, rebound, and it slid to the side of the net, but kept alive. Torres knocked away. And Ishida couldn't clear it. What a save by Nagasse to keep this at a 1-0 lead.
3-on-1 by the USA, and they weren't able to put it in. Missed chances.
Now Howard again will try for the U.S. Knocked away from him. Yohe keeps it in at the blue line. Flipped in behind the net, and Sudo will go get it. and fired down the ice. This will relieve the pressure, and it would have been an icing call, but we've got a penalty coming here, and it's going against Sudo from Japan. Satoru Sudo, the 39-year-old, as we just talked about, from the Hokkaido Bears, and he'll go to the box. Sorry, this is Ishida, I think, who's going to take the penalty.
I think so.
Yep.
Joe Howard trying to get that shot up. I know Joe, and I know where he likes to shoot it. Trying to get right in the top corner. Didn't get enough height on it. Lagasse blocks it. Wasn't able to control the rebound, but nobody around for it.
Louis?
6:04 puck if you have any questions about sledge hockey. And there's one here, and actually I think it's the first time we're receiving this question, is how long does an average shift last? Pretty long sometimes.
That's an excellent question.
Yeah.
By the way, before we get to that, they've just flashed up a penalty, but I think it was the wrong team. They had Joe Howard's name listed as the penalty getter, but I think it's number 23 instead on Japan. It is
right.
Ishida. You want to answer the question about shifts, Rick?
Well, there is no set length for shifts in sledge hockey. In able-bodied hockey, the NHL, they try to keep it under a minute, but we've seen guys with average shifts of 3-4 minutes in this tournament.
Looking right down in front of me at the Japan list before the game, and 1.5 minutes is about the longest average shift length, and about 30 seconds is the shortest. There's a shot, goes wide of the Japan net. The U.S. is again working on the power play, leading 1-0. Taylor Lipset has 6 points already in the tournament, slides the puck back for Howard. He couldn't get much of a shot away, and Japan able to clear down the ice. Chase is
chasing it.
Yeah, he certainly is, and Uehara's chasing him.
Now, the U.S. likes to work it down low, and if that brings the forwards back in, that leaves Taylor Chase wide open at the point, and then they try to find him.
Endo colliding with Salamone. The puck ends up in the Japan corner. Sudo back for it. He's taken against the boards by Yoi. Ito flips at the puck. It's still loose. And it slides right in front of the Japanese net where Endo will go get it. And he'll flip it around the boards. Chase will keep it alive. He's so good at doing that. Now Ito will get a chance to clear it, and this time it will go out to center.
Took a weird hop off the glass there. Didn't go all the way down.
Number 59 on Japan is Noritaka Ito. He's just heading off on a line change. He's very impressive. He's not picked up a point yet in the tournament. Japan has just picked up a power play as a U.S. penalty is coming, a hooking penalty. And so in 25 seconds, Japan's penalty will end and they will get a power play, Louis.
6:04, 4:04 puck. Questions about sledge hockey, you text, you take your cell phone. One more here. Can an able-bodied person play sledge hockey?
Well, they sure can, but not at this level. Able-bodied people can play at the club level. I've coached able-bodied men and women at the club level. It is all inclusive in most places. I know there's a league in New England that just has disabled people playing in the league, adults. But yes, it is all inclusive usually, and it's a lot of fun whether you're able-bodied or disabled.
Emerson for the U.S. battling forward along the boards. I know lots of people with disabilities, Rick, who like to play sports with able-bodied people. Here's a chance for Chase, and he snapped it wide of the net. Lots of people with disabilities, athletes with disabilities, like to, play with their friends and finally have an advantage over their friends.
I don't see it an advantage in sledge hockey if you're able-bodied over disabled.
Daisuke Uehara carries into the zone. His team looking for the equalizer. Uehara centering pass doesn't get there, and Emerson will get back in time and clear the zone. And a giveaway. Here's a chance for Jones. Endo racing back. Jones with a shot, and the save by Lagasse.
Endo forcing Jones to shoot faster than he wanted to.
Now Endo steals the puck. He's got 4 goals in the tournament already and leads the Japanese rush. They're still on the power play. Endo flips it in. Uehara couldn't get to it. And that allows Taylor Chase, the 23-year-old, to get it ahead out to center ice. That was dangerous if you're an American fan. Ishida able to push it ahead to his own corner. Endo, who's spun around and knocked off his blade, will get back up again. His team, though, has the puck. Takayashi leaves it there for Yoshikawa. And Japan having to regroup all the way back in their own zone. Daisuke Uehara to center ice, taken away by Torres. And Bubba Torres is still on it, gets a shot, didn't miss by much.
Torres, the best penalty killer the U.S. has. He's quick and he knows how to score.
And the U.S. has continued their perfect rate of penalty killing. Uehara, little flip pass ahead for Takahashi. He's roughed up a little along the board, stays with it. Battling there with the U.S. captain Yoi. Takahashi gets it free in front, intercepted by Lipset. Kept in at the line. Ishida with a shot, and that just missed. Sudo back to Uehara, flips it in front. Puck is loose, and Steve Cash gets a glove on it. The whistle comes. And this game is still a 1-0 lead for USA.
Great save by Cash there. Connolly came in front, tried to block that shot. I think it missed Connolly, and Connolly screened Cash on the play, and that could have easily gone in under him. There's the errant shot by Endo, I think, over the net. Here's the shot by Daisuke. Connolly went to play it, went right under him, could have slipped right under Cash too. But he made a nice save.
Face off to the right of Steve Cash. Louis, quickly.
Yes, quickly, two more gold medals for the Russian Federation earlier today in Whistler cross-country skiing women's relay, and also the men's relay. 2 more gold medals, so it means 30 medals now for Team Russia in those Paralympic Games. 30.
Wow, Russian Federation has been dominant out in the cross-country venue. Teams are at even strength here. 5:44 to go, 5:43 in the third period. It's still a USA 1-0 lead. Their only goal came early in the first period, a power play goal by Alexei Salomon. Now Endo with a shot that went wide. USA again under some pressure here, but now Chase will get a chance to try to clear it and almost gave it away. Anaka throws it in front. And it's a mad scramble. U.S. now will try to clear it, and Joe Howard will make sure, and he'll get it off the boards to center. And maybe a giveaway. Josh Pauls trying to get around Endo, who recovers well. Pauls stays with it. 3 Japanese players in the corner. Ito is there. Salomone and Pauls for the U.S. Comes back to the blue line. Chase. His shot was blocked. And Japan just can't get it out at this point. Anaka, Ito, both there. Great play by Chase to send it in deep. And Sudo and his team, led by Misawa, will get it to the line, but not out. Salomone to the blue line for Chase. Right back into the corner again. Salomone, 4:20 remaining third period. Still a 1-0 lead for the U.S. here in the gold medal game. Pauls, he's got Chase if he can get on the pass.
Japan knows their biggest enemy right now is the clock.
Howard into the corner. Anaka takes it away. He'll slide it out to center. Landeros back for it. He'll get it across the Japanese blue line where it's controlled by Endo. He pushes it up for Sudo. Cuts to the middle, flip pass for Uehara, winds up on the stick of Takahashi with a shot that went wide. The rebound, Takahashi, and it was stopped by Cash. Now Uehara again is ferocious on the puck. Flips it in, he was making the pass for Endo, but it was intercepted by Emerson. What a play by Emerson to get after the puck. That's a new one. Offside here. but it's not blown down because Japan didn't touch it after the line. Adam Page is given a good hit by Ishida, and here comes Japan again. Takahashi shot, and that barely missed. Ishida now follows up.
Japan has taken the last 4 or 5 shots on the U.S. net and hasn't hit it with one of them.
Uehara coming up with a puck, flips it back to the blue line for Sudo. His shot stopped by Cash.
There's one.
Oh my
Nice
goodness.
save.
Great pressure by Japan. To the side of the net. Cash is going to cover it. Boy, he has an innate sense of when the puck has to be covered and when his team needs a rest.
Listen to this crowd. They're right into it. There's so much energy in the building right now. 2.5 minutes to go.
Once again, if you have any questions about sledge hockey, 604-404-PUCK, 604-404-PUCK. And Rob, Rick, I think it's important to say hello to our friends from the sport production who are, I would say, dancing at the moment.
You would say, well,
I would say.
Sort of.
Form of dancing.
Yeah. Some of our good friends, actually. We had the chance to work with them also this week, and it's been great.
Japan, Endo keeping it in. Salamone will get a chance to clear it, and out it goes to center. And now stolen by Endo. He might get a shot, but Yoi comes back. Endo with a shot, easily stopped, caught by Yoi. It was heading wide anyway, but he wants to freeze the puck and get a face-off.
He's so casual back there. He doesn't overplay the puck. A lot of those shots that are going wide, some goalies would try to stop them. He just lets them go.
Another face-off in the USA zone. Ray Maluda, the head coach of the U.S., watching on nervously. Kojin Nakakita from Japan wants his team to get a goal to tie this. 2:13 remaining in the third period. My name is Rob Snook alongside Rick Middleton, and our host is Louis-Simon Lapointe. And our researcher is Jeff Tsui. We've been working together every game here in the sledge hockey tournament. This is the 20th game of the tournament. We've got a penalty coming. I think it's going to be against Japan. It is an offensive zone holding penalty, and this one hurts. And Ito is heading to the box. And Japan, if they're going to pull the goalie now, it will only equalize.
Well, the ref gave him a lot of chance because he didn't call the first 2 holds. He had to call the third one. It was just too obvious. Good opportunity for the U.S. to put this gold medal away right here.
1:55 now on the third period clock. It is still just a 1-0 lead. The strength of an Alexei Salamone goal. He's got the puck now. He throws it to the front of the Japanese net, slides off to the corner. Chase goes after it. He'll get it back to the blue line for Lipset. Taylor Lipset fanned on the shot, and the save made by Nagasse. He'll hold on. Lipset just could not get the shot away that he wanted.
Lipset the best player right now, I think. Salamone's had a great game, but that's his 5th shot on net. He's second in the Paralympics in goals with 4 goals, tied in second. But he's had 5 shots. That's a lot sometimes for a team in a period, let alone a player. He's been all over the ice.
It's the bottom line is Japan needs a shorthanded goal in order to tie the game. They've only scored 1 in the tournament. Unless, of course, the U.S. is to take a penalty here soon. Under 90 seconds to play. Tense moments, gold medal game. Joe Howard has one at home, a gold medal, he scores! It bounced off of Sudo, and the U.S. has probably clinched the gold medal.
That was Taylor Lipset with the deflection, a nice pass by Joe Howard. Taylor Lipset backhanded, if you will, into the net, changed the direction of the puck. And I have to quote a guy by the name of Mike Dunnan in 2002 when he was interviewed about winning the gold medal for the U.S. He says the men's team couldn't do it, the women's team couldn't do it. So it's left up to the sledge hockey team to bring home the gold, and it looks like the same holds true right now for the U.S. of A.
Joe Howard threw the puck in front of the net, And Taylor lips it with a world-class kind of tip. Knocked it past Mitsuru Nagasse. And as hard as Japan has fought in this game, it looks like they will have to settle for the silver medal. They'll need a goal very shortly to have any chance of changing that. Sudo flips it right back into the Japan zone. We'll wait. We have not seen any movement by Nagasse to be pulled from the net to give Japan an extra attacker. Both USA goals coming on the power play. Chase, cross ice pass, Pauls. Shot back in. Nagasse now banging his stick. He's got to come out soon. Kojin Nakakita waiting for his team to get possession. Now they have it. Now he's heading out. Might have waited too long. Back to the blue line. Sudo with a long shot. That went wide. And I don't think Ishida's going to get to it. No, it'll go to center ice.
With 2 goals to make up, they left them in the net way too long.
Probably should have taken him out right at the face-off at center ice and just hope and pray for the best. We're down to 12 seconds to go. Japan surprised many making it to this game. The United States of America came in as the #1 ranked team and will win the gold medal for the first time in 8 years. Ray Maluta and his squad, gold medalists in 2010 in Vancouver.
Well, we talked about missed chances. This is going to be a game depending on who won it, because both teams had some great chances. Maybe the U.S. had a few more, but none better than that penalty shot by Endo. The Cash came up big, kept his team with a 1-goal lead, and now has helped them win the gold medal.
An unbelievable performance by Steve Cash in the American net. He stopped every shot that he faced in this tournament, none harder than a penalty shot in the gold medal game against a world-class player, Takayuka Endo. And from start to finish, the U.S. has been the best team. Didn't expect to play Japan in the final, and many didn't expect this to be a game, but it was right to the final horn, and it's a gold medal for Team USA.
It was a great game. You know, you talked it before, some people thought the U.S. wasn't necessarily going to blow them out, but probably score 4 or 5 goals. Everybody really thought that Japan historically has trouble scoring goals. We saw that tonight. They couldn't hit the net with a lot of their chances. They just couldn't bury it when they needed to. That cost them the gold medal, but they did get the silver, and they're still happy.
And a best ever Paralympic Winter Games for Japan. And this will just take a little while, I think, Rick, for Japan to realize what they've accomplished. They beat Canada. They earned a spot in the gold medal game. They came within inches of what would be the top step on the podium. They will settle for silver, but it will still be an historic day for Japan in sledge hockey.
Maybe for the next few minutes, because I think we'll be together on the air for, let's say, a few minutes. I'd like to invite everyone here who's listening to us on Puck Radio here in UBC Thunderbird Arena. If you've been with us for most of the tournament, you can text maybe your player of the game, but also maybe your player of the tournament, of the Paralympic tournament here at UBC. So 604-404-PUCK, 604-404-PUCK. Give me your player of this Paralympic tournament.
It's very tough. It's very tough.
That's a hard one.
Because on the U.S. side, the strength of their team is that they were not a one-player performance. And so in the gold medal game, you have a 43-year-old Joe Howard who gets 2 assists. You get Taylor Lipset, who scores the game-winning goal. He assisted on the first goal. You get Steve Cash, perfect in net. And throughout all of these games, Taylor Chase just like a Bobby Orr on the blue line for the USA.
The word that comes to mind is solid. They're solid throughout their lineup. You're absolutely right. They're solid on the offense. They're solid on the defense. And then if the team should happen to get through, they're solid in net. And they're young. They're 23 years old. So they've got a great future ahead of them. I'm so happy for everyone. I'm happy for Joe with his 2nd gold medal, and everybody else on the team, it's their first.
I almost wonder if a player like Takayuki Endo would be considered for player of the tournament. He helped his team get to this gold medal game in so many ways. He's the captain of Japan. He's out for all the key moments, and he played a physical game even, and he's a small man, and he played a physical game and helped set the pace for his teammates. He scored 2 goals in the bronze medal, or sorry, in the semifinal game against Canada, and so he would have to get some consideration.
Oh, that would be a great choice. You know, when you have a well-balanced team like the U.S., it isn't always just one player. So outside of Steve Cash, you know, who some say maybe wasn't tested enough to deserve the player of the tournament, but he didn't allow a goal, so it's going to be interesting.
I would think that the tournament all-star goaltender would be Steve Cash, and there's several others. If we get that listing, Louis, we'll pass it on as quickly as possible, but we are still waiting for that. Do we have any messages, Louis, that you want to forward to us?
Yeah, of course. I had 3 messages so far, and you know what? All 3 are for Mr. Steve Cash, Money Man. The Money Man, Steve Cash. And do you think, guys, that the save he made earlier today in that game, in the penalty shot, maybe it will also help him, you know, to get maybe this title? Or
he would save in a 1-0 game, absolutely.
Yep.
Well, in a game like this, but then again, you don't win the game without scoring a couple of goals, and you have 2 players, Lipset and Howard, who are in on both of the goals. Right. Salamone would, I think, earn a spot on the tournament all-star team. He was just excellent for the U.S. in every game, and it's just so tough to choose.
With 5 goals.
You had a couple of Canadian forwards, Westlake and Bowden, who I think would deserve tournament all-star consideration. And it really has been a great tournament. The parity, we talked about that in the intermission with Greg Lagasse in terms of countries coming up and knocking off other countries. Countries like Italy, with their program, has gotten so much stronger. Czech Republic as well in that same discussion. U.S., a team that squeaked out a bronze medal 4 years ago, and here they are, undefeated through the tournament. Not only undefeated, did not allow a goal against in the tournament. An unbelievable accomplishment. And the Norwegian team again showing its strength and longevity. Bjornstad and Rovostad and Rolf-Einar Pettersson, even though they had some injuries and some age issues to deal with, they found a way to get a medal, a bronze medal, and that will probably be the last time we see that team together as we've seen it over the last decade or so.
Right, if you can remember me talking about Norway earlier in the week and what's wrong with them. But on the other hand, I said you can never take them for granted. And they were there. They're like the ever-ready bunny. They just keep going. And you know what? They don't worry about getting beat. They don't worry about it. It's not a pride thing to them. That's one game, forget about it, let's move on. And that's why they've been so successful in these Paralympics year after year after year.
And Louis, I think it's worth going through the 8 places of this tournament right now. And so the number 1 team, of course, is the U.S. The number 2 team and the silver medalist is Japan. Norway, bronze. Canada, 4th.
Yes. Team Czech Republic will finish 5th. Team Korea, South Korea, will finish 6th.
There's another big one, another surprise, and another team moving up.
And there's also Team Italy, who, you know, I think most of us really enjoyed watching Team Italy. Unfortunately, they finished 7th. At least they won their last game, probably the most important game for them. But I think they're going to have a great future.
It was a lot of fun watching them, definitely. You're right. I enjoyed saying the Italian names, to be quite honest. Stiliatano and Chiarotti. Made me hungry.
They roll off the tongue.
And of course, the last team ranked number 8, Team Sweden. And unfortunately, it's probably the biggest deception of this tournament. We were hoping probably a lot from Team Sweden. It's a big program. They've been around for a long time. Their sport started in Sweden, finishing last.
But here's the other side of that, Louis. They came within a goal in the shootout of beating Norway. And if they had won that game, they would have been battling for a medal instead. And so that's what it comes down to in this tournament, was 1 goal in the shootout if Sweden wins, and instead they wind up in the bottom half of the tournament, lose 2 games, and they're on the outside looking in.
It's all about regrouping. It's all about regrouping. Now Sweden's turn to retool their team and come back up. You know, nobody stays on top forever. We've seen that. Nobody's won this Paralympics 2 times in a row. The USA is the first team to win 2 gold medals. But what I like is the competition. I honestly, being away from it for so long, thought, oh, this is going to be between the 3 teams, really, US, Norway, and Canada. Well, look at Japan in the gold medal game, Italy coming up from 8th to 6th, Korea from 8th place to 6th place. Italy playing so well. It's been such a fun tournament to watch every game.
And the evolution of goaltending as well we're seeing, Rick, where it's very tough to score on some of these top goaltenders who've obviously studied tapes and films of opposing players because they know which hand they're going to shoot at, they know which way they're going to shoot, and you can just see that they're guessing at times. We saw Brad Bowden on a breakaway, and he was stopped on what would have been, by the Japanese goaltender Lagasse, and had he scored on that, but maybe Lagasse had studied the films and that much more advanced. It really has been a great tournament from start to finish, and again we thank our researcher Jeff Tsui for his great work throughout the tournament, carrying us with all these wonderful stats and facts to back up our broadcast.
Hey, maybe we can ask him, maybe Jeff, what was your most beautiful moment of the tournament so far? What did you enjoy the most here at those games in Vancouver?
So Jeff is now going to strap on the headset.
Well, I think every single game was great. It was a pleasure working with all 3 of you guys. But I think my moment of the tournament was the Canada versus Sweden game, when I was able to get 20 of my best friends and colleagues to the game, and just having them taking the moment and enjoying the spirit of the Paralympic Games, that was something really special for me.
And Jeff, if you could have brought those guys to the semifinal or the bronze medal game, that might have helped the Canadians.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun, and we really enjoyed your hard work
Thank you.
and your effort. And Jeff not only did his hard work here, but he would go home at night and he'd print out all kinds of great stats and facts that would help support our broadcast.
And he must have run over here about 30 times a game with little stickies, with little notes on it that we can always use in our telecast. So that's awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jeff. And all the teams, the medal-winning teams, are on the ice now, on the carpet. And Team USA is in the middle. They're the gold medalists. Team Japan to their right, and Team Norway to their left. And the U.S. team, interestingly enough, is the youngest of these 3 teams. And so it makes us wonder, Rick, 4 years from now, will these same players with an addition and a subtraction 1 or 2 be right back where they started? Or will it be a different mix of players? Because there's a junior U.S. team that's here in Vancouver right now playing against the Canadian side. And are there 3 or 4 on either of those teams who are ready to, jump in and push other players out?
Well, different from a lot of the European teams, Europeans are looking to build their youth movement up. The USA has already done that. So they got a real competitive training camp coming up because they're going to have more kids their age, 21, 22, banging on the door trying to make the team. So it's not like they're getting old and they're moving on as opposed to a lot of the other teams. So it's going to be interesting.
I'm receiving more texts here from people who are listening and watching us also here at UBC Thunderbird Arena. For the player of the tournament, I've got someone here writing Tyler Yohe. This guy has still been doing well this tournament.
Andy Yohe?
Andy Yohe.
Yeah, Andy, excuse me.
Number 9 on Team USA. Wow, he's so steady. And in a couple of the earlier games, Rick, especially the semifinal in which the U.S. looked a little bit shaky at times against Norway, Andy Yohe was very, very good.
It's going to be as it always is, unless there's a runaway player like Sylvester Fliss in 02 with 11 goals in 5 games, 3 hat tricks as the MVP. But in this tournament, there's a couple, there's probably 5 or 6 that you can name. We'll be interested to see.
Right now, the medals being presented to Team Norway. And Greg Lagasse, who is with us in the intermission, is the one who is hanging the medals on the necks of the Norwegian players. And Rick, Greg talked to us about the future tournaments that are being held. Apparently, there will be no international tournaments next year, at least hosted by IPC. There will be different countries that have events. And then 2 years from now, the World Championships and then the next World Championships, and then they'll go right back into the Paralympics in Russia. And he also talked about the fact how Russia has now got a program going. They have 4 sledge hockey teams in Russia,
Right.
and so they are working towards being ready to field a competitive team in 2014 in Sochi.
Well, I would expect them to be pretty competitive. Hockey is such a big sport in Russia, and they're going to be the host team. You can bet that they're not just going to want to show up. They're going to want to be able to compete.
More comments also on the 604-404 puck about maybe your player of the tournament, your MVP. You can text us also any comments or questions about at the end of the game here. We've got also Alexei Salamone, one more name that could be considered as being, the MVP of the tournament. What do you think about that, Rick?
Yeah, I wouldn't say no to any of those guys, honestly. But I would say you got to take Endo into consideration, like you said, Rob. I honestly like that pick because of how he played in every game and how he helped bring his team who wasn't expected to be here, how he played against Canada in that game. You got to take that all into consideration. You just don't take the gold medal game.
Well, and I like what Ray Maluta has done with the team over the last couple of years. He said to us earlier in the week that they had some painful losses 2 or 3 years ago when they were first instigating the 3-line system, where they were not going to follow the formula that had been used by a lot of the international teams over the years of playing 7 or 8 players. They really wanted to develop the 3 lines, and because of that, maybe they had some goals scored on them in some key moments. But that's the strength of this team, and that's why if one of these players maybe had gotten hurt, it might have created a little bit of a hole, but at the same time, you have so many other players who are ready to step in, and the U.S. strength is their unity.
They're very fortunate to have that. I think that was the main reason, and has been the main reason why Sweden has been, I wouldn't say dropping like a stone, but slowly dropping down, and now they're 8th place, and they have to realize that they do have some young guys on the team, but they haven't done it fast enough. And I'm not saying get rid of your older guys, but you got to really incorporate it. It's almost like college hockey. Your seniors leave, and you got to bring your young guys in. You got to go out, you got to find these guys, you got to develop them.
Our name is also on the 604-404 puck. Cash for MVP. Debate settled. He's the best goalie from Toya. Hello, Toya.
We really appreciate all the text messages we've got from the drop of the puck in the first game until here, the final horn in the gold medal game. There have been so many people who've have listened to us here in the building, who have watched us around the world, literally around the world, on ParalympicSport.tv. We know that folks are watching us earlier up at Whistler Creekside. We hope you're still along, and just a great experience here. We don't have as many medals as you folks do up in medal events at Whistler Creekside, but here it's all about one medal, and on the final nation listing, it will only list one gold medal for Team USA, but there are 15 players, there are several coaches, trainers, support staff who are all part of this gold medal experience, and they are as proud of this one medal as anyone could imagine.
You know what a lot of people don't know or may not know is the fact that coaches do not receive medals. In 2002, Tom Moulton and myself, my assistant coach and myself, did not receive a medal. Herb Brooks did not get a medal in Lake Placid in 1980. It's not just the Paralympics, it's also the Olympics.
Well, and we don't question that when we're talking about a sport like skiing or cross country or downhill or summer sports for like track and field. But I guess in team sports we sort of think of it more as one for all and all for one.
Well, I do have a gold medal at home.
I know you do.
Mr. Moulton's family business is a medal shop. They have. So we were able, he took a cast of it, and we got one made up, and we'd have ours at home. Looks exactly alike.
But your friend Joe Howard has 2 gold medals. He won one 8 years ago as the captain of Team USA. He came back to help this team win a gold medal for the 2nd time in U.S. sledge hockey history. U.S. team is also very much supported by their international organization, their national body rather, USA Hockey, and it seems like a model that the North Americans have adopted and that the other countries are beginning to follow suit with.
Joe Howard, an interesting story. He played hockey growing up, but he had his accident when he was 15 years old. But he didn't find sledge hockey till he was 29, or sledge hockey found him, let's put it that way. And he's been working since he was 29. He's 43 now. I still say he's one of the best sledge hockey players in the world. He certainly rates up there with the best. He's still fast at 43. But when he was in the hospital, Terry O'Reilly from the Boston Bruins went to see him at 15 years old. And Terry met him after we won the gold medal again when we had a party back in Boston. And he remembered Terry coming in. And when Terry O'Reilly's sweater was retired in Boston at the Garden, he used Joe as an inspirational story about how someone could overcome diversity and overcome the, tragedy in their life and go on to be the captain of the gold medal team. And he really is an inspiration to so many people, and he does so much work in the New England community with kids, going into hospitals and talking to people that have just had accidents, and I'm so happy for him.
Rick, Rob, as we are offering the medals here to the three teams on the ice, Team Norway, Team Japan, and in a few moments, Team USA. Did you know that every medal won here at the Vancouver Paralympic Winter Games will be unique, one-of-a-kind work of art? 2.05 kilograms of gold used in the production of those medals. 30 is the number of steps for the fabrication of those medals. 9 is the number of times each medal is stuck into shape, to shape and modulate finally their form. 399 is the number of medals for the Vancouver 2010 Paralympic Winter Games, and between 500 and 575 grams, that's the weight of each medals, which are among the heaviest here in the Paralympic history.
Wow. Well, you know what? None of these players will feel that weight. All they'll feel is the glory of it all. And the Team Japan, I know these are silver medals, but these are the silver medals with the most gold tint I think they'll ever get for Team Japan. Many didn't expect them to win a medal. Many thought they might be in the bronze medal game. They did an unbelievable job carving their way into the gold medal game by beating Canada and then proving that they belonged in the gold medal game with a great effort against the U.S., where the U.S. didn't seal it until just over a minute to go in the third period to win the final 2-0. And the Norwegian team's been given its medals and its flowers. Japanese team, its medals almost on the flowers, and then it will be to the gold medal winning USA side.
More and more comments also on the 604-404 puck. Who is your MVP? Your MVP, if you've been with us also since the beginning of the tournament here on Puck Radio and also on ParalympicSport.tv. Lots of text here about Steve Cash. He's the best. He's been the best goaltender. No goals in the tournament. Also a few words about Endo from Team Japan. And we're about to present Team USA.
Of course, Vancouver is very close to the U.S. border, and so I'm sure there are lots of fans who've driven up from the U.S. and the Canadian fans here in attendance, happy to have a ticket and cheer on the two teams in the gold medal game, and happy to cheer on USA as they are presented with their gold medals.
I know of two. One is my son Jarrett is at the game here with his buddy Aaron, watching this game. Came up. He just moved to Seattle to start a publishing company. He wasn't able to come to Salt Lake City in 2002, so I'm so glad that he's here to see this today. It's really his first exposure to sledge hockey at this level.
Rick, Rob, once again. And here's a comment also on the cell phone, 604-404 puck. Rick Middleton, player of the game. Here's the comment.
Me? I'm the player of the game?
You are. It's written here. It's written here.
Who do you think, Rick? Today's game, player of the game.
I would say Taylor Lipset. Mainly because he got that all-important first goal, turned out to be the winning goal. Solomon, I'm sorry, Lipset got the second goal. He was in on the assist on the first goal. You could also give it to Howard with 2 points. But Lipset, he had a great game. I thought he and Salamone were the two best players out there for them. But he got the goal that really put it away for them. The game was not over by any means. And with a goal and an assist, I put in for Taylor Lipset as the player of the game.
There's someone here who just texted us a great comment, actually, great comment. I'll be accepting the gold medal in a few years. Signed by Danny Santos, New York, Long Island Rough Riders, sled hockey team.
Awesome.
Great.
Good for you, Danny.
There's the New York Rangers sled hockey team, the Long Island team. Sledge hockey is very healthy in the New York area. And that's the type of stuff you want to hear because,
You're right.
as we were just saying, the U.S. team is very young, but it doesn't mean that somebody can't come up and make that team.
Yes.
Well, we haven't been given our official choices, the organization's choices as the all-star team, but I'm going to just throw some names out to you here. On goal, I think most would lean towards USA goalie Steve Cash. On defense, it's hard to choose. I want to choose one of the American top defenders, and I'm going to lean towards Taylor Chase, but I just wouldn't feel right without putting Takayuka Endo on there as the other defenseman. I just think he had an unbelievable tournament. And then for me up front, I would lean towards. There's 4 players, Rick, that I am having a hard time choosing only 3. 2 of them were in the game tonight. Salamone and Lipset from the U.S. The other 2, Westlake and Bowden from Canada. And so I think if you pick 3 out of those 4, you certainly can't go wrong. But, we don't know. We don't have the official listing there.
No, this is just your
speculation.
Your speculation.
But it's fun to do that, I think.
Yeah, we were saying that it would be fun to pick a second team. Would it be in Nagashe? I mean, you got to take him. But I like the play of Penka and Stilitano. Really kept their teams in the games right through pretty much every game and gave them a chance to at least win and be competitive.
John Furlong, the head of the organizing committee for both the Olympics and the Paralympic Games, is now presenting the flowers to all the USA players who have been given their medals. Taylor Lipset will be the next to receive his. Number 7 for Team USA, had a goal and an assist here in the gold medal game, and through the tournament he picked up 7 points. And so you've got to think about how big his contribution was. This USA team right across the board is so good. Remember, this is not a surprise like it was 8 years ago when Rick Middleton was coaching. This team was ranked number 1, won the World Championships last year, won the tournament that was just held before the games in Japan, and won the World Sledge Hockey Challenge last fall in Prince Edward Island, beating Canada in overtime. A Taylor Chase goal, by the way, to win that in overtime. And so not a surprise, but certainly to come as favorites to win gold is as hard to do as anything else.
Well, there's a certain pressure that goes along with that. And I think, Canada felt a little bit of that pressure being home, even though they weren't the number 1 seed. As we've spoken, it's negligible between Canada and USA and possibly Norway. It's a pick-em who might win at any one time, and now Japan. But going into it, we never thought that. But I think the USA had the benefit of not really having that home pressure on them and realizing they were the number 1 seed, and that gives you the confidence.
More comments here on the 604-404 puck. Cash for MVP. Congrats to USA team for the gold medal. Thank you, everyone also. Lots of good comments also about us. People are saying thank you. And maybe we can listen to the American national anthem.
Yeah.
Pretty special.
Rick, Rob, maybe one last question from someone here on the 604-404 puck. And this person is asking if the coaches are receiving a medal.
Well, they must have just tuned in. Rick was saying that the coaches do not get a medal, so that's tough for the coaches, but it doesn't change the experience.
In the Olympics and the Paralympics, coaches don't receive medals. That may change at one time, but right now,
in any
that's
sport,
the way it is in any sport.
Rob Snook, maybe a last word about your week here.
Louis, this has been a pleasure to work with you and Rick, to be part of this experience. You know, I've broadcast other events where you're broadcasting for an individual organization or a country, and so those are the events the games that you cover. But we've watched every single game in this tournament, and so with that is extra work, but it's an extra privilege as well. And so we've got to see every game. We've got to see every effort of every team and the ups and the downs, and not just the bronze medal or the gold medal game, or not just the highlights, but the lowlights as well. And that just to be part of that whole experience is really a great honor. And I feel like I understand the game better than I ever did before, and I understand the players who make it tick. And it's just been a fun experience to be part of this, and to be a Canadian, and to be here to watch the host nation. You know, we had 5,200 fans watching a game between Italy and the Czech Republic.
You're right.
And what a thrill that was. And to see and that wasn't just that game. Almost every game was in the range of 5,000, which is about capacity here at the UBC Thunderbird Arena. And to see how the home nation, the host nation, was hospitable to the world and welcomed the best sledge hockey players in the world, and to see how the games develop too. So that's not just one thought, Louis. That's a whole bunch of them. But what a thrill!
It's been a great week. A long but a great week here in Vancouver. Rick, Middleton. The players, the American players, are still on the ice taking the traditional pictures. You've experienced this in the past, huh?
Well, no, this is totally different for me. My first and only experience was as a coach, which is totally a different way of looking at it.
But you were still there.
Yeah, but I've been up here, and you know, when you're coaching a team, you're focused on the one team. I got a chance to focus on all 8 teams up here over the week, and you know, some days we thought, oh, we got to do 4 games today. But you know what? The days went by fast, and all the games were enjoyable.
Yep.
And I really have to commend the people of Vancouver, the people that volunteered to work in here. You know, I'm Canadian myself, and it makes me proud to be Canadian. To come back to Vancouver, I haven't been here since I played pro in the 80s. This city has really boomed. It's a beautiful city, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. And I am so happy that I got invited to be a part of this with you fine gentlemen. And let's do it again someday.
And Louis, thanks for driving the broadcasts all week long, and for driving the vehicle that kept Rick and I safe all week long.
And for driving us crazy, too. Louis.
And for driving us crazy at times, yes. Because we know that our French is bad. We've tried to improve it. We thanks for your patience, and we're thankful for your patience.
I'm not even going to try.
You've been great. It's been an honor, a real honor. First of all, working with you and working here at the UBC Thunderbird Arena for those Vancouver 2010 Paralympic Winter Games. This Puck Radio experience has been great. I think I'm going to keep the best memories probably in my sport experience in my whole career. I want to say hello to Carla also, who is just there once again with us. All the other people also, Matt Coy. There's also Cassandra, all the people also who've been working with us here in the sport production at the UBC Thunderbird Arena. Je veux également saluer tous les gens qui nous ont donné un coup de pouce. Salutations aussi aux gens qui nous ont syntonisés via le ParalympicSport.tv. Et ça a été un grand honneur, un grand plaisir renouvelé chaque jour d'évoluer, de travailler avec vous et pour vous. Hello once again to my friend Jeff, who's been a great helper. And the man, if you have any questions, you needed to ask Mr. Jeff here, and he had the answers. Same thing also with our friend Talia. Just want to say hello also to Talia. Rick, Rob, thank you.
See you in 4 years, fellas, in Sochi.
You know what? I hope. I wish. See you in 4 years. Rick, same thing.
You got it, pal.
Rob, same thing. See you in 4 years. So on behalf of myself, Louis-Simon Lapointe, Rob Snook, and Rick Middleton, once again, the final score today here at UBC Thunderbird Arena. Team USA wins the gold medal, 2. Team Japan gets the silver medal, 0. Thanks for being with us once again today at the Vancouver 2010 Paralympic Winter Games. En mon nom personnel, Louis-Simon Lapointe, Rob Snook, Eric Middleton. Je vous rappelle la marque finale, les États-Unis qui l'emportent par la marque de 2-0 sur l'équipe du Japon. Les Américains qui remportent ainsi une 2e médaille d'or dans leur histoire paralympique en hockey sur luge. C'est avec un très grand plaisir que je vous retrouverai sans aucun doute dans 4 ans. Ladies and gentlemen, from UBC Thunderbird Arena, thank you for being with us. See ya.